We won with highly educated. We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated.
Hey, he was the one who said it.
How would you feel about him being a dictator?
I probably wouldn't be pissed about that at all.
You'd be okay with Trump being a dictator?
I'd be okay with it, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me about the shirt here.
So this says Colt 45 with a C, as in the
way.
Colt, you know, so, and 45 is his number, obviously.
Right. So it's a cult, like you're a member of a cult?
Exactly. In a way, yeah. Like
Theoretically, Trump he's where it's at.
If you could pick a cult leader, it would be Donald Trump?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yes.
If you've been paying attention at all since Trump's rise to power, you already know that he's always had a peculiar fondness and attraction to authoritarians and fascists like Vladimir Putin, Viktor Orban, Kim Jong-un, Marine Le Pen, and so many other world leaders on the extreme right wing of the political spectrum. So hearing this shouldn't be all that surprising.
He commented more than once that, that Hitler did some good things too. If you know what Hitler was all about, it'd be pretty hard to make an argument that he did anything good. Everything he did was in support of his racist, fascist life, philosophy, so that nothing he did you could argue was good. It was certainly not done for the right reason.
It's a far-right, authoritarian, ultranationalist political ideology and movement characterized by a dictatorial leader, centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition, belief in a natural social hierarchy. So certainly, in my experience, those are the kind of things that he thinks would work better in terms of running America. It certainly falls into the general definition of fascist, for sure.
But he also had frustrations with the Pentagon itself. And so these expressions of desire to be more like Hitler and have Hitler's relationship with his generals came out in these moments of tension. And again, especially around that George Floyd area where Trump has been cited as saying, why can't you just go shoot them in the legs? He has learned from his quote-unquote mistakes and will get people who are more compliant. He's looking for obedience.
Listen, that is a totally plausible thing that Trump could have said to Kelly. Okay, because we know he wants to be a dictator so bad. He is begging for that if he gets elected. Have you seen Project 2025? It lines up with being a dictator and somebody who is evil and trying to discriminate against people who do not fit his ideology, or do not fit the pure race, if you will. There are no redeeming qualities about Hitler. None. That was an evil, evil man. So, yeah, him trying to justify or say that Hitler tried to do some good things. Okay. Yeah, and the Democrats, rightfully so, they've jumped on this story and are using it to give the Harris-Walz campaign a final push across the finish line. But on the opposite side of the aisle, the right-wing media ecosystem immediately ran to play cleanup.
Expect desperation out of the Democrats right now. Expect AI-doctored footage of Donald Trump allegedly 20 years ago. Fake stories. They are throwing everything they can as Donald Trump's early voting numbers are great, as his odds in the betting markets are ascendant, which again is not necessarily my favorite metric, but it definitely gets people worried. They're going to throw these fake stories. So here, there's a lot here. There was an Atlantic article yesterday, which I just kind of rolled my eyes at.
Take their medals away. These treacherous guys, they are hideous, all of them, and many, many more. The culture of deception, these political animals, they're supposed to be fighting men. They're not. They're careerists, and they're out for a buck. You're going to see Lindsey Graham and another guy named Urban. Before they push back, they got to let everybody know that they like these generals. They're friends. They're this. They're that. Stop it. They're out for a buck. And maybe so are you guys. I don't know.
And don't think for a second, people, that mainstream outlets and pundits wouldn't run cover for Trump either.
And I could absolutely see him go, now, you know what? It would be great to have German generals that actually do what we asked them to do, knowing that's a third, maybe not fully being cognizant of the third rail of German generals who were Nazis and whatever. But he was frustrated with the slowdown of
it wasn't just a slowdown. It was insubordination.
The left's biggest hoax, Chef,
Jeffrey Goldberg at The Atlantic has cooked up a doozy. Says Trump admired Hitler. There's no recordings of this, and everyone says it's baloney.
I would just humbly submit to Mr. Kelly that if he's worried about Hitler and he's worried about fascism, he ought to pick up the newspaper. There's thousands of Hitlers running around this country right now, running around college campuses, running around New York City, chasing Jewish people around, blocking their access on college campuses. If you're worried about Hitler and you're talking about Donald Trump, maybe open your eyes and take in what's happening on the American left in this country. Those are the Hitlers I'm worried about.
Trump makes offhand comments all the time, all right? But they don't mean anything, and he doesn't even remember them 30 seconds later. This is another trumped up. This is beyond, this is so hateful. And Harris should have stayed above it, but now she's in it, and that's going to tee people off.
Listen, the reason why I think all these pundits feel motivated to defend Trump and immediately dismiss Kelly's comments as a hoax or election interference from a disgruntled ex-employee is because, one, they have made it up in their minds that they are going to vote for him no matter what. So they will spin whatever negative story is out there about Trump into a positive and make excuses for him. Perhaps they think because they're cozying up to him and defending him at all costs that they're going to receive some sort of benefit, whether in a position, in the office, perhaps one day, or just financially, and then also access to Trump, right? So that way, see, I always stood up for you. So that's why you come back on my show. That's why you give me information, right? So those things, I think, are reasons why they feel motivated. And it's ludicrous, to be clear. But as we've shown you many times, really too many times now, there is a massive portion of the country who couldn't care less about Trump destroying what crumbs of democracy we have left.
You know, I believe what Donald Trump says, and, you know, if he says it, then I'll go with it. And if he wants to be a dictator, then so be it. He's the president of the United States of America, and he would be my president.
I love Trump. I think everything he says is honest, and he's looking out for each and every one of us and the country's best interest.
Would you rather have 4 years of Donald Trump as a dictator or 4 years of Joe Biden as a president?
4 years of Trump as a dictator.
How come?
From all that I saw him do, I like everything he does.
Oh, you poor soul. You really think he's an honest man and he tells the truth. And you actually think that he is looking out for people like you. Oh no. He just makes you believe that, when in actuality, you're going to be screwed just like so many of us if he becomes president. But you have been deceived for so long, and you are willingly engaging in that deception. And he's poisoned her mind, the other guy's mind, and so many other people, where they have no independent thought. They have no critical thinking. Critical thinking is a lost art in our society right now. It's probably never been worse, or at least it's never been this visible with the rise of social media. So when it comes to how I think this scandal will affect the election, I don't. I really don't. Because as Trump put it, he said a lot of lies. One lie he didn't say was, look, I could go on Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody in the street and I would still get support. He wasn't lying. It really does not matter what scandal, what new information comes out about how awful of a person he is, let alone how terrible of a politician he's become. Don't matter. They will still vote for him. So with that, you give Trump credit for speaking the truth about his influence as a cult leader. But everything else, no. Yeah, it ain't gonna have an effect on the election. Not to me. If you already haven't switched your allegiance from Trump to Kamala Harris or even another candidate by now, then you're not. This story actually may encourage you to vote for him with more conviction because of the twisted ideas and thoughts that he has in his head that are then transferred to these voters, and they believe them wholeheartedly without any type of critical thinking. Just mind-boggling. Rebel HQ, I'm Chris Williamson. We'll see you next time.